Yes, sir.
I asked about the letter you wrote to Congress on Tuesday about the unemployment insurance problem. Could you suspend the provision of law that kicks in the tax increase once it hits that $100 million threshold? Is that something you consider?
Well, you got to understand that the reason that the question is about the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund and the declining balance in that trust fund. We had about $1.1 billion in it back in March when this started. Today we've got a little more than $300 million in the fund because we've been paying out benefits to tens of thousands of employees who are out of work, and they qualify for benefits. And once that trust fund drains to a certain level, in order to ensure its solvency and the ability to continue to pay benefits as required by law, then a assessment is made, a tax is, so the employers pay a larger, pay tax on a larger portion of their payroll. I don't have the authority to suspend that, but if I did, we're not going to have any money to pay benefits either. The option that you have is to borrow money from the federal government, which you can do, and it's a decent deal in the sense that it's a interest-free loan. But when you borrow money from the federal government to shore up the solvency of the UI trust fund, you then have to have a surcharge on your employers as a means to pay the federal government back. And this is exactly the wrong time to be talking about a tax increase or a surcharge on our employers when we're trying to make sure that we have an economic recovery and that more businesses are open and more employees are able to go back to work. And so the letter that I sent to the Congressional delegation, and by the way, we're working this hard through the National Governors Association, working with the National Chamber of Commerce and many other stakeholders, is to try to influence Congress so that in the Phase 4 legislation that they are negotiating now between the Senate and the House, that there's funding there for these unemployment insurance trust funds, because the situation in Louisiana is not unlike those of other states. This is a national problem, and I think everybody recognizes now is the worst possible time to do anything inadvertently or that would cause this tax increase. And taking no action is going to inevitably lead to a tax increase or a surcharge on our employers, and we really want to avoid that at all costs.